Yeah. Hey, I'm Sammy. Oh my god, no. Hey, I'm Sammy. I make NYU related content and vlogs in New York City. Subscribe for weekly videos and like this video to help and support a confused student who's graduating next semester and doesn't know what she's gonna do with her degree in this pandemic world. Just a disclaimer, I'm a dance major at NYU Tisch, so I'm not like a computer science major at Harvard, but either way my days consisted of technique class, regular academics, and dance academics like dance history and anatomy, plus rehearsals for performances. Either way, the advice that I'm giving today is still applicable for people of all majors, just even if you're taking less than 19 credits. Somehow I was able to survive these past 2 years with a 3.68 GPA, so it may not be a 4.0, but keep in mind that I don't necessarily care about getting all A's. Like, I'll settle for a B. I'm not sure if I've gotten a C yet, but I'll settle for a B just because I think that my quality of life is more important than my grades. But honestly, still proud of myself. Like, I look back now that I'm a senior and I'm like, yeah, I really did that for 4 semesters. I took 19 credits for 4 whole semesters and I thrived. So I'm gonna give you some advice that helped me along the way, and also just some things that I didn't get to do that I wish I would have heard before I started college. So I've separated everything that I want to talk about today into categories. So that is why I keep looking down at my laptop. Also because I look at my laptop for security, because I'm on my laptop all day long. Have a calendar and an agenda. Research your classes and your teachers. Find your writing style and your groove. Study tips. Meal prep your food. And finally, have some time for yourself. Okay, so important. Have a calendar and an agenda. I personally work with a jumbo calendar that's hung on the wall in front of my desk. It's jumbo so that I can have enough space to write all of the errands or extra things that I need to do that are not specifically homework. Then I have a small agenda that's just a notebook where I write all the homework that I need to get done and all the due dates. It's super good to just have everything that you need to do written down. Visually, it helps a lot, and also just mentally, because you don't have all of your to-do list just floating around in your mind. Another thing that I do that works for me is that I combine everything that's on my calendar and everything that's on my agenda slowly, and I put it onto a to-do list in my notes on my phone. So I can always just check my phone to see what I have to do, and I also put it in a specific order that sometimes I deviate from, but it just helps to have some kind of outline. Next, make sure you research your classes and your teachers. Since I'm the oldest sibling, I had no idea that I could choose what teacher that I wanted to have. I just looked up my writing requirement on like the university website, and I just clicked on the class on a random section that worked with my schedule. Like, I didn't actually research the teacher. Luckily, I got a good writing teacher that year, but for my general education credits for my other regular academics that were homework heavy and super difficult, I got some really annoying teachers that either didn't teach well or they just gave way too much homework, and I could have avoided that just by looking on Rate My Professor or asking people. I don't know who would I would have asked, actually. I didn't know what
Like advisors,
maybe I could have talked to my advisor. Okay, you can look on Rate My Professor, or you can ask an advisor if you have a good advisor. You can ask an upperclassman if you feel up to it, or ask cousins, older siblings.
What did he say?
Siblings. You can ask anyone who's been to college how they did it, like how they found out if their teachers were good or not. I don't know. I personally went in not knowing what I was doing. I just clicked whatever teacher, and I ended up not having the best experience with my professors my first year. So by the time I got to my second year, I started watching YouTube videos online about classes at NYU just to make sure that I was getting easier classes with good professors. Another thing that I would suggest is to find your writing style and your groove and your, how do you say it? Your process when you write. You need to create a writing process for yourself, because there's obviously just going to be so many essays assigned. So it's good to figure out a system for how you write. The way I usually do it is I start by skimming all the articles that I'm going to use. And I say skimming because nobody has time to actually read all the articles. And then I see the quotes that stand out to me when I'm skimming, and I copy paste those quotes onto a Google Doc just to start. Then I make an outline and I start to organize what each paragraph is going to be about. Then if I'm inspired to, I'll write a few strong sentences under each category just to have something to work with. And then sometimes if I'm also inspired to, I'll write my thesis at the top so that can also be a basis for when I begin writing the essay. Then I actually start writing the essay in order from top to bottom. And then I just start filling in the gaps. But it's good to figure out what kind of system is going to work for you, because then you have that to fall back on whenever it's a really difficult essay. And you should really just think of what makes writing essays better for you. Is it lighting a candle in your room, or putting on little twinkly lights and your diffuser with your favorite oil? Or do you like to write essays with music in the background? Just figure out what helps you focus so that you're not making yourself super miserable since you're doing homework. Okay, now let me give you some great study tips. Number 1, most important, is to put your phone in a drawer. Put your phone away, because TikTok is going to be calling your name the whole time while you're studying. Put it somewhere where you can't see it. Under a blanket, screen down, sounds off, no vibrations, or inside a drawer. And then it's like a reward when you finish your homework, because then you can take it out of the drawer and see that you have no notifications. Next is to study with groups of friends to fulfill your social needs. For me, study group sessions usually just turn into like everybody laughing and getting distracted and gossiping, and we go out and buy snacks and we kind of forget about our homework. Something that's really important is to study at least 30 minutes, I would say, whatever works for you, before you get to your group study session. Just so that you get there and you know what you're doing. So that in case you guys play like a study game, you can actually answer the questions and you know what you're doing. Because it happened so many times where I would show up to these study sessions not knowing any of the material, and nobody was gonna stop and teach the material to me. So study before you get to your group study sessions. Another thing is that if you don't feel ready after that group session, you should still study more on your own. Review the things that you didn't get to review for another 30 minutes to an hour, just depending on how you feel. For essays, I personally love, well, in a pre-COVID world, I used to love going to study lounges and finding like a little corner that wasn't too comfortable, but also not like a super ugly metal chair. And if it could be facing a window, that was always just better for me and my energy. That would help me just be less distracted, because if I was home, usually to distract myself, I'd go make a snack, and then I would see one of my roommates, and then we'd start talking. So sometimes going to study lounges just helps to just get it done. Be open to being in group messages with people from your classes, even if you don't know. Even if they send too many text messages, just put it on Do Not Disturb. You will most likely get lots of answers and textbook PDFs from those group messages, so they come in clutch most of the time. The next thing that I recommend is to meal prep your food. Do not forget to eat. This is something that most college students forget to do. Stress and anxiety can also just make you lose your appetite, so it's better if you already have your food ready so that there's no excuse. Since I usually had classes starting at 9, throwback to my old life. For breakfast, I would prepare overnight oats or a fruit salad, and I would prepare that at night because it just takes like 5 minutes to do at night versus in the morning when you're super tired, it takes way longer. For lunch, especially freshman year when I didn't have that much variety in my menu, I would make spaghetti and chicken, and sometimes I would make chicken with vegetables or ground beef with vegetables. But anyway, I would make it in bulk on a day that wasn't so busy, and then I would pack away like 4 containers for the rest of the week. For dinner, I would try to make something fresh just so that I wouldn't get bored of microwaving all my food. I would usually just make a smoothie or a smoothie bowl, something that was easy to eat while I was doing my homework in the afternoon. Or I'd also eat a banana, or I would eventually also take a study break and go to like a 24-hour deli and get some hot Cheetos or ice cream, because that's also what would motivate me to get through my homework. This year, now that I also have more time, Food Talk has been giving me so many new ideas, and I've recently been making more of a variety of foods, and now I have more time to cook. So TikTok is a very good place to find some easy meal prep recipes as well. Last but not least, you need to have some you time. Sleeping and watching Netflix is extremely productive. Unpopular opinion. You need that time for yourself and for your brain to rest and to shut off. As students full of to-do lists and calendars and agendas awaiting us, our brain is just constantly going like this. And so you need to have that time to lay down in bed, turn off your brain, and watch your favorite show. Another thing that's more realistic, because sometimes you just have no time to watch Netflix, I feel like we all make time for it anyway. In those other times when I didn't have time, but I felt like I really needed a break. Sometimes while I was cooking in a rush, while the spaghetti was boiling, I would go and lay down with my feet still on the floor, but just like lay my back face up, and I would close my eyes and breathe in and out slowly 5 times. This would give me a chance to center myself and to calm myself down in days that were just so crazy and where I was going back and forth for classes and I had so many things to do. This helps to center yourself so much. You need to breathe, because a lot of the time I'll catch myself, and I think this is just really common in a lot of college students. I would catch myself just like breathing shallowly, breathing but not moving my chest, just like breathing under myself. So you need to take deep breaths whenever you remember to release the stress and anxiety that is in your chest. Release it. Okay, I think my work here is done. I hope. Oh!
Did that help?
Yeah, so cute. My boyfriend just turned on the lights in our backyard. Our backyard. Contrary belief to my boyfriend's roommate, I own this apartment. No?
Cap. It's big cap. Hey vlog!
Thank you for watching this video, and I hope this helped you and that you're not as miserable and hopeless as me.